Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the eclipse that is happening in Aries on the 20th. We're just going to see what is going on in your general energies. I'm actually going to pull 5 rows, and each row is going to represent something different for the eclipse. So, we'll talk about that when we get to each row. But you start off in your just the general energy for the eclipse. You have this card that says, find a creative strategy to improve your finances. I've noticed that everyone has pretty much had something significant about their finances showing up in these. I've only done 4 so far. You're actually the 5th one I'm doing. And, I've just noticed that there's been a lot of financial stuff going on here. So for a lot of you, you could be like trying to improve your finances or looking for ways to improve your finances. And I think that would be probably a good use of your time and a good way to use the energy as well. I also feel that for some of you, it does look like, I would say that for a lot of you, this could be kind of like have to do with how other people affect your finances. And I'm not just talking about like in love or anything like that. For some of you, it's kind of funny because these could be like little things here, like as in, it's like you never know. Sometimes I think in work or business, if we get too caught up in, office drama, maybe it hurts our finances. And, it's kind of popping into my head that some of you are realizing that. For others, like if you have a platform as well, like YouTube or something like that, you might be noticing how, like if you worry too much about, what the haters say or whatever, it could be affecting your finances. But the good news is it looks to me like you're actually focusing on the right things. And I kind of, he has his head down, he's focusing on the work that he's doing. So I kind of feel like as we enter into this eclipse time, which will be from the 20th until like 6 months later, until about October of this year, I feel like you're kind of like head down, just very focused on, work or whatever it is you're working on. And again, there's love here as well. So it doesn't mean that you won't have love if you happen to want love. I'm just saying, I think for the most part, you could be more focused on kind of like your resources or increasing your resources. You have the 4 of Pentacles. I actually am getting this is why. Those are the words that are popping into my head with this card. So I kind of feel like you're maybe focusing on your resources so that you can just have more stability in life. And again, the good news is I do feel you are increasing your stability with this card. You do have the moon here as well. I always say with the moon that the moon has these mountains in the background, which represent an achievement. And I also always say that nowhere on the moon does it say stop. It says get to those mountains. And even these 2 pillars here on the moon, those are a warning to the fool. And they tell him to not get off his path. They basically say, keep working towards what you originally were working towards, right? And so that is popping into my head for you, Virgo. If you have been working towards like one specific thing, I feel like this is saying, don't get off your path. Don't get distracted. They're basically those 2 pillars say like, don't get distracted by a shiny new object that could be popping into your head. So if you've been working on a business, don't get distracted by the idea of a new business that you think might be better. I kind of feel like this is saying, see something through to the end. And that doesn't mean, by the way, does not mean that you can't also work on the new idea. I just feel that, that 8 of Pentacles very focused. So if you do have a new idea, it's like maybe split up your day. I do this, right? When I wake up in the morning, I come, I pretty much have my morning routine and I come here and I do this right here. And this is the only thing I focus on. After this, I go start working on my other projects and stuff that I'm working on after I do my readings, right? But it's like I have taught myself dedicated focus, meaning when I'm focusing on this, I'm not thinking about everything else that I have going on. I'm only focusing on this. And, it's kind of popping into my head here that maybe it would be a good time for you to like kind of compartmentalize like that. Like when you're focusing on one project, dedicate, even if it's only an hour, I think that 1 hour would be way more useful than like 10 hours of, just all over the place thinking, right? With the 8 of Pentacles, you have the 9 of Cups. This is going to lead, there's a lot of fulfillment coming in, even going this way. I kind of feel, and you have the Empress here. I mean, really good, definitely good for abundance. Even if you want love, again, there could be something very fulfilling coming in for you. I wouldn't worry about the Tower. By the way, I said to Pisces, everybody's going to have the Tower, and everybody has had the Tower. So, these, I have the hiccups now. These could just be global Tower moments that are going on in the world, and, just is what it is. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. I do feel like efficiency would be a good idea. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I would say that I think that we're in an amazing time for working on, like, whatever we're working on, looking at it and saying, am I doing this the best way possible, or am I wasting time? And, it's not about wasting time. It's about looking for, like, efficient ways of doing things. So, don't be afraid of new ideas, especially in work or business. With the Moon card, you have the Seven of Wands. 2 sevens right here is internal fears that don't exist. You have the Nine of Swords here as well. A lot of fear with the Nine of Swords. So I would be careful of fear. It is something that I've noticed as well. I do think that there could be a lot of things to be fearful of that are happening. I mean, just look what's going on with the economy and everything else. Again, it's only going to get worse, right? And I don't say this to scare people. I just say this because, it is what it is. We're watching the death of a dinosaur, basically, is what I would say. So, it is what it is. I think people who, keep their head on straight, who pay attention, who don't freak out are going to be perfectly fine. I don't really think anything all that crazy will happen to them, but if you're just stuck in a state of fear, then you're going to have a hard time. So, that's what I'll say there. Next, we're going to look at any endings that could be happening during this eclipse, and you have the Seduction card. It says passion, pleasure, temptation, beauty, attraction, sexual intrigue, and mating dance. I feel like for the most part, you're done with entering into things that are just only seduction. I kind of feel like this is saying you're looking deeper into all situations that you feel kind of match up with you. I don't even think this is only love here, Virgo, either. It's like, again, sometimes I think we get seduced by a business idea, like a get-rich-quick scheme or something like that. I think what's coming to an end is that, I don't know if that's like the right words, but I feel like what this row is really trying to say is that you're no longer accepting things just at the surface level. I feel like you're going deep, basically. And the reason I say that is that you have the King of Cups. He is sitting in the middle of the ocean, and, his card represents the fact that he goes deep. He really, kind of examines things that he is interested in, or he examines the things that he wants to get involved in, love, business, health, and otherwise, pretty much all areas of his life. He really explores the depths of the things that he enters into. So I feel like you're kind of, this is a good thing. Again, you're probably not like just rushing into relationships, for example. I feel like you're really looking like at the ins and the outs of something before you get into it. Could even be, business relationships, or, could even be work relationships, or whatever the case may be. But it could also be things having to do with your health, I'm getting here with the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords, can be a card of a heartbreak, and some of you could be maybe looking at, I would say if there is heartbreak here, I think it's more that we have this retrograde as well at the same time of the eclipse. So you might be looking at past heartbreaks, and not that you're living in the past. I think you're just looking at them and saying, like, why was this a heartbreak in the first place, so that you can avoid it in the future. So there could be some healing in that sense. But I also get something about your health here. Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But I feel like some of you could really be examining your health and like trying to either clean it up, or, just trying to make some changes here. I'm getting the word longevity as well. Some of you could be becoming like very interested in your longevity and doing things that increase longevity. Again, I'm not a doctor. I have no clue what I'm talking about, so do not take this as medical advice. There you go. You have this Nine of Swords. Again, I think all three water signs have this card, and now you have it. Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare. It's like having a nightmare, waking up and still being a nightmare. But again, it is in the area of something that's coming to an end. So I feel like you could be ending like some sort of nightmare in your life, or something that has just been a repeat cycle. And even if we go this way here, it's like the Strength card would say you finally have learned how to tame this beast in your life. She is taming this lion, and it's bringing in a transformation. So I kind of feel like it's a good thing. Here you go. Three of Swords, you have the Temperance card, a transformation. Temperance is about turning one thing into another, you can turn a negative into a positive. You can also turn a positive into a negative as well. Obviously, I would turn it into a positive, but, I feel a lot of you could be focusing on turning things around. With the King of Cups, you have the Hierophant here. Some of you could be thinking about commitment or marriage. Could be a water sign that you're thinking about. Again, there has been a decent amount of love, I would say, in the readings for this eclipse season. I do think that this eclipse season is much, much better than the last eclipse season we had last year. And, it's like much more positive. I also think that I said it at the beginning of the year that I thought once we got to the end of March that things would start to get a little bit better for love as we move throughout the summer. And, obviously that's just going to continue. So if you're hoping to get married or hoping to find a person to marry, looks to me like you could be finding a person. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Emperor. There you go. This is crazy to me that, again, I think it was Pisces, Cancer, and now you have divine counterparts here. So like I said, I think it could be a very good time for love. As I've expressed before, I think the reason we're seeing these changes in love is we just ended, a couple years ago, ended some cycles that we were having in Scorpio since the 70s. Basically divorce peaked in the 70s. Now we're ending those Scorpio cycles. And, this is Chris's crappy astrology here, but I'm not so sure that like more people are going to get married. I actually think less people are going to be getting married, but the people who do get married are probably going to get married for the right reason. So I think that's kind of just, it's not even intuitive. That's why I say I think, because I have no way to prove this, but other than, kind of intuition, kind of astrology, I think that people are going to get married for the right reasons. And that's why we are probably seeing a lot of this like divine counterpart type stuff coming up in the readings. Next, in the area of, new beginnings, you have this worth waiting for card. It says, all good things take time, promise, potential, incubation, analyze, learn, and prepare first. So again, I feel like you are being prepared for probably some sort of really good connection if you want love. Even if you don't want love, I love the Emperor and the Empress together because it can just represent, a situation entering into your life that is perfectly balanced. So it could be like a job, a business, where the two energies are in balance, the creative force and also the, energetic actually getting started force with the Emperor, that masculine energy. And so it's like there could be something that is like a really good opportunity that you're being prepared for. And that word preparation really stands out to me, mostly because of the Page of Wands to the Death card. You also have the Strength card and the Queen of Swords. This Page of Wands to the Death card is where I'm getting preparation, other than, that card there says preparation, it says prepare first. The Page of Wands, he's preparing for a journey. He's very enthusiastic about as well. But having the Page of Wands to the Death card is like there's some sort of change that you're making in your life that is, but it's like weird how it's popping into my head because it's saying the change is the preparation or something like that. I don't know. I'm getting weird words here, but it's almost like whatever change you're making right now is the thing that is preparing you for, something really good in your life. I feel like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself with this Strength card. Strength, she is taming this lion. And so, like I said, you could be attracting I think I said this earlier, that you could be attracting a person who's really tamed their inner beast or has tamed some sort of beast in their life. They've tamed themselves. I also feel like you have kind of, tamed yourself. We go to the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very bold, very assertive. She really goes for what she wants. And I feel like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself, and this is just going to lead to a lot more success. You have the Queen of Swords. She finally sees things clearly. You can see that she only has clouds halfway up her body. So I feel like it's like you're being much more patient is kind of like what I'm getting here. Also, that card looks like a golden egg. So I feel like there's like some sort of golden egg coming into your life here. With the Page of Wands, you have the Four of Cups. Love it. I love this card this is the White Sage Tarot. And you can see that these 3 cups are pouring into this 1 cup. And so to me, it's actually kind of saying that you could be meeting a person where it's like they really kind of are an overgiver. And I feel like they have more than enough to give in the connection. So, really nice. With the Strength card, you have the Knight of Cups. Yep. Definitely Knight in Shining Armor, going this way right here. Could be an Aries, could be a Scorpio. You always get Scorpio. You have Scorpio twice. Could be an earth sign or a water sign as well. Basically, I just listed every single sign. So it could be any sign. Take it how it resonates. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Chariot, Cancer. There you go. But there's some sort of victory. This is your victory going this way, is moving towards something where you think there's competition. That does not mean that you should be competitive. I feel like what this reading is saying is that you could be moving towards something in like work or business where you feel like there's competition, but it's actually meant for you. I feel this reading is saying, whatever this is, here, it's something that is meant for you. So there really is no competition, even if you feel like there's competition. You could be like trying to get a job or to start a business or whatever. And I feel like this is saying, don't even worry about it because it's meant for you. You're going to have a victory. Next, we are going to look at the next major change that you're going to have at this time, and it says higher perspective. Yeah, the whole entire reading kind of talks about perspective in a certain way. So I feel like you're gaining a perspective on life and the changes that need to happen, and this is probably the thing that is going to lead to success. You have the Death card, the Empress, and the Queen of Wands. So again, by the way, if you're like attracting love, I feel like you are very attractive at this time. These two cards to me represent like a lot of attraction or desire. You could also be attracting a person who's very attractive. It's like the two of you, very attractive together. There you go. But the other thing I would say is that the Queen of Wands, she's my card of learning as you go, and really, I feel like this is true for everyone, that pretty much everyone, I think, is learning as they go over the next, like, several years, right? And, that's what I would be doing if I were you, is just, don't be afraid to get into situations where you don't know what you're doing, in work, in business, in any area of your life, because she doesn't really care. She, has the desire to do something, and she knows she will figure it out. And so I kind of feel like she's giving you the confidence to be able to do that. You have the Empress. I do feel that this, again, could be a divine counterpart, but I feel there's a lot of abundance. I feel like you're harvesting as well. If you've been doing work for a very long period of time, and, I feel like you've been getting results, but, it could always be better, right? I feel like you're kind of finally getting those better results on whatever it is that you've been working on. And really, I kind of get this feeling that you've learned a lot of lessons over the past few years with this Empress card. She has those stars on her crown, and they represent the 12 signs of the zodiac, those stars. And it kind of suggests that she has learned the lessons of all the, every single zodiac sign, right? She's been through a lot of these lessons, but that's what makes her successful. So I feel like you need to look at these lessons that you've been through kind of as the thing that has made you a success. You have the Death card here. Again, could be a Scorpio, but I also feel you're just going through a big transformation. Whenever we put things into perspective, again, you have that higher perspective card. When we can put things into perspective, then I think we can become much more successful in life, or we can overcome issues more, or, we can take the sting out of lessons as well when we put things into perspective. With the Death card, you have the Hangman. As always with you, right? The butterfly imagery. Every single reading I do for you, you always get this, like butterfly, caterpillar. I'm always talking about caterpillar soup with you as well, Virgo. So some of you clearly have gone through a transformation. With the Empress, you have the World. Definitely some big accomplishments coming in for you. I feel like you feel very motivated here to me, like especially in this row. I feel much more motivated, and it could just be that the universe is maybe allowing you to progress, or you are progressing towards some goals, wishes, dreams. I also feel like things are, it's like kind of weird, the message I'm getting here. It's like, I think that there are certain milestones in life that we think that we should have. I would be careful of that, right? It's like, some people think like, oh, if I'm not married by 30, I'm screwed, or like whatever, right? I'm just giving you an example here. I feel like something here is happening that like fits in with your timeline. Like if you have some sort of idea about something that should happen by a certain age, it's actually happening. I don't know. That's a very weird message, but it's popping into my head. So there you go. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups here. A lot of Seven of Cups energy. Just all the readings had Seven of Cups, and I think it's a sign of the times. Again, we have Neptune and Pisces, but also Pluto and Aquarius. Neptune and Pisces, big, crazy ideas that exist above our head, things that we feel like are impossible. Pluto and Aquarius says you need to accomplish the impossible. You need to try to bring these crazy ass dreams that you have down to earth, because if you do, then you're working with the energy. Because if you accomplish something that is crazy for you, and it doesn't have to be too big, doesn't have to be anything really all that crazy, but if you're doing something you've never done before, you're inspiring other people, and that's what we do to work with this Pluto and Aquarius energy. So probably the best thing you could do. Next, we're going to look at what you could be manifesting at this time, and you have this message in a bottle card. Could literally be communication coming in for you. You could be trying to manifest communication with a person. I would say if it's a person, it's a new person, and I actually feel like they will talk to you, is what I feel like saying. So there you go. It could be someone at work or in a friend group, is what I would say to you. You have the Five of Wands, Tower, and the Knight of Pentacles. Again, if this is communication, Five of Wands to me is a card of socializing. So, you could be interested in a person that you socialize with, and maybe you think that they don't know, or they don't know, and I think they actually do know. And again, you could just be surprised that they are willing to talk about this with you. So, again, shoot your shot, Virgo, go for it. Could also be a person at work, and again, that could be why it's showing up as a conflict, because again, some workplaces have rules against dating, and all that other stuff. But I don't know. I feel like there's love here. I would go for it. You have the Tower. I don't think you're manifesting a Tower moment, but I do feel you are manifesting significant change. Some of you might want a Tower moment. Again, I think the Tower gets a bad rap. I think the Tower is a good thing, mostly because those people are ignoring reality and they're being brought back down to reality. That's the whole point of the card. So, I feel like for a lot of you, you're just kind of gaining some wisdom or knowledge, or you're learning something that is reality, or you're seeing reality for what it is, and it's probably going to make you more successful. But it could also be a new beginning that you're manifesting. And you have the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you are, again, here's what I'll say, is that he needs to plant seeds in this field. He's the only knight that represents no movement, but he has everything about him screams knowledge and wisdom. He even has these oak leaves on his helmet and the horse here. Oak leaves in the tarot represent knowledge and wisdom, but he's being too cautious. So I feel like it's time for you to take a risk. I also feel like what could be surprising there's like something surprising here in the sense that, you could be taking a risk with that Five of Wands to like put yourself out there in business. I feel business or work, like something about business or work. And it's like things actually go your way for once is what I feel like saying. You know how I was kind of like saying earlier in the reading, I don't remember where I was saying it, where it's like something fits in with the timeline. I kind of get the same message over here. It's like, I feel like they're connected, those two messages. With the Five of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. Yep, definitely communication with a person. I'm telling you right now. Could be another earth sign. You always get earth in your reading, so could be an earth sign, but I feel like there's a lot of communication, or there will be a lot of communication. With the Tower, are you kidding? You have the Eight of Wands, communication. So, again, I feel like you could be communicating with someone new in love if you want love. If you don't want love, again, I feel like things could be happening faster than you realize. Like, if you're working on a business and if you feel like, again, it matches up with your timeline and things are actually falling into place, you might be fearing a Tower moment, but I actually think things are going to work out very well for you. And with the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Three Cups. Yeah, definitely a lot of reasons to celebrate for you. I also feel that there's clearly going to be a lot of benefits from your community, even with that Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a card of conflict, competition, but I really get this feeling that some of you, again, you could be interested in a person that's in your community, and that could be, like, there could be some fears there. I think that's why it's showing up as a Five of Wands, but Three of Cups, it would actually be good teamwork. So I feel like there's a lot of good teamwork opportunities coming in for you as well. But this is a really good reading, Virgo. I love it. So definitely going to be a good eclipse season for you. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the eclipse.